Welcome to today's episode of Did She Really Say That? The podcast that's disrupting the world of business education and breaking down barriers for women entrepreneurs. During our podcast, you might find yourself saying, Did she really say that? Because we are challenging the traditional methods of business training so that women can have more fun, play, and ease as they learn to unlock their millions. And we became the sisterhood of the ums.
She went there. So who are you? So you got to do the intro.
My name is Heidi Muma, and I love to help women have fun in their business when they're actually creating their profit in their business and bringing home the money that they really truly desire.
Bring home the bacon.
Bring home the bacon. Stop feeding your business and have your business feed you.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of that going on, and I'm sure. I said that. I said that. Take it for whatever it's worth out there for you all listening. So my name is Chef Katrina. I've been an entrepreneur for the last 15 years, and I love teaching women how to play in the world of technology and bringing systems together that make your business fun and easy to do.
And I'm here for the fun. I'm Karen.
What role do you have in this company? Come on.
I just like to have fun. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. That's all. Who cares?
All right, fine.
It's really just
fun. You better share that fun over here. I'm just thinking.
Oh, I'm having fun.
Oh, you're having
I'm
fun?
having fun.
She's having fun and you're not.
Because it's a sisterhood of the ums.
And there's a Z at the end. Yeah. Anyways.
The sisterhood of the
Okay, so our premier
Horse
awesomeness, our
paradigm shift.
Paradigm shift for sure. It's called Unlocking Your Millions. So unlocking your millions.
Unlocking my
millions. She was about to go,
So it goes, your million, and you keep going with the S because it's so many. It's your ideas, it's your creativeness, it's your everything that you offer to the world. It's not just dollars, even though that's what we think of, and that's what we are also creating. But there's so much more to what we're creating than just dollars.
So there's an S at the end of million.
A lot of S's.
Lots of
Or
is it Z's? I like to say
Z's.
Yeah, it's fun.
I like Z's better because they don't remind me of snakes, and I don't like snakes.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I don't like those either. She said that. I'm
Sorry
with her.
for any snake lovers.
Yeah, I'm not a snake lover.
I like S's. I like Z's because they don't remind me of snakes. So I guess and then I'm thinking Z's. I'm thinking nap time. I don't
millions of that.
Millions. I think rest is so important.
It is important.
Yeah. So let's we can laugh all day long, and we are going to say a lot of things that are going to make you say, "Oh my God, did she really say that?" And welcome to our podcast. If you've been listening for any length of time, you'll know that occasionally we just have things fall out of our mouth that shock and surprise and awe even us.
So what's the book you're reading now?
Oh, you want to know the book I'm reading?
I do. I want to know what we're reading.
So what we're reading, and Karen hasn't been privy to this yet, but she's got a really interesting look and take on this because she's still in this conversation, right? So we talked about
I've been in this world for a long time. I'll let you tell what the name of the book is, and then I'll share my thoughts on it too. So yeah.
So the book is called Pussy, the Reclamation.
You might get a beep on you.
Yeah, I might.
I wonder if they'll put a blurb over your word.
So if I say the word pussy, you're gonna get like.
You might.
Yeah, I might get just censored.
You might not even care.
Uncensored podcast. We do say we could use explicit language. Apparently, pussy is explicit, though. Really, at the core, that word is not explicit at all. So I'm just saying, no. It's been demoralized and mean and made to sound bad and shamed and blamed. But pussy, really, if women could say that without being shocked themselves. I remember the first time I did say it. The first time I heard it, oh my gosh. So, because I usually hear it in the context of, man, you're being a pussy. And usually it's a guy saying it to another guy, right? Or stop being a pussy kind of a thing.
Which is why we have such a negative impression of the
Oh,
word.
probably, most likely,
Because that's
right?
how it's commonly used.
Yeah. Or don't talk about the pussy, or that's a bad word, or it's repulsive. Women shouldn't say that. It's a, you know, words we should stay away from as women. And I was like, yeah, let's take back that word and make it ours for what we know it to be. So yeah, so pussy was a first time experience of hearing that word and then having a conversation around it, pretty a coaching almost around it. Was really interesting because I didn't realize at the time when I heard that word how disconnected I actually was from my body as a woman. I was all like from the neck up. That was all I ever was in the world of business, in the world of education, in the world of training, in the world of coaching. It was all neck up. It was all analytical. It was all up here. And I really had shut down everything below the neckline. Like I just like had a body, but I never recognized it. I never looked at it in the mirror. I never like associated that this was what I was living in, right? Because I was such in the analytical mindset that I didn't want to even feel the emotions that were happening inside my body, because that wasn't what the world of business wanted. That wasn't what that was, you know, expected. Like if I had an emotion or feeling, it just kept getting shoved down into this lower half and then it kind of ignored. And really it took another woman pointing out how much I was ignoring the rest of me, and that my life didn't live above the neckline. My life lived from top to bottom, head to feet. And it was like a slap across the face in terms of just like going, oh my God, how many other women in the world are in this same place but don't know it? It was like literally it took another woman slapping me and saying the word pussy to me that was like, oh shit. Like, hi, I'm a woman. And it's not like I didn't know that, but I guess I never actually lived in the body. I had experienced life as a female, but I never lived in the body, the emotions, the feelings of being a woman, because that wasn't acceptable. It's too emotional. You're too this. So you just learn to shut down and compartmentalize everything. And I think what I love about what we're reading inside of Pussy is that it's about the experience of being a woman. Like we are designed for and to receive and experience our own. And I think this is the word we were talking about, the word pleasure. And the first time I heard the word pleasure in context to Pussy, of course, the automatic connection is sexual. It is literally that the only thing that Pussy is good for is sex. Right. Intercourse, it's made to be used by the other person. I don't own it. It is not for my pleasure. It is for it's somebody else's, right?
That's really sad if that's how women look at it. That, and I know that is, oof, yeah, that's sad.
But that's the experience, because we're not, I mean, there's a lot of, I mean, I'm from a Catholic faith, so there's a lot of things around that when we don't talk about sexuality, we don't talk about that. And so the experience was, you know, I've been in relationships and it's, you know, I did shut down. I think I took a decade off, which, you know, most guys be like, you did what? But for a female, there's this sense like I need to reestablish myself back in my body because I don't feel like I'm living here. And I know a lot of women I talk to that talked about feeling disconnected, inauthentic. And I think a lot of that is that we don't allow ourselves to feel our body. And then we go in and we go to the doctors and we get, you know, boob reductions, boobs enhancements, we get lipo, we get this, we get nips, tuck, everything else, because we feel like the body that we're in isn't our own.
It's not good enough.
It's not good enough based on a perception outside of us. And we don't look internally and go, oh my God, this body, what I'm living in is a beautiful thing. So for me, like hearing the word pussy kind of sent me over the edge a little bit, but it also set me on this really interesting discovery around how does reclaiming that word, how does understanding, and we talk about it a lot inside of Unlocking My Millions, like feeling your body, feeling where pain is, feeling where emotions show up, feeling those experiences in your body and just realizing that, being mindful of that, right? And this has opened the door for me even to push the barrier around, okay, we're in the world of business, because that's where I love the world of business, because for me, Business is community.
Mhm.
When you have a business, you are impacting people's lives, not through just the selling of their product, but your employees. They have families. Like, you're contributing to an economy much bigger when you become a female business owner. It really is like impactful on multiple levels. Like, you can build a business from your home, but still impact your neighbor, your community. You can provide goods and services, and you are literally feeding the ecosystem of being a female entrepreneur. But and inside of that, that's where I was like, okay, as a female that really wants to give, create community connections and relationships, a lot of us get into business to create that in our lives, to be a better in social impact, right? So where do we as females get cut off from the world of business because we don't talk about pussy, because we don't talk about our feelings, because we don't talk about the fact that we view time differently? Like, these are all the things where I feel like it's not an unrelated conversation.
Mhm.
It is the conversation. We need to be creative. We are built for pleasure. And I think the fun part we had around the word pleasure is that when we think of pleasure, we think automatically it's sex. And what I loved about Pussy and the reclamation of it was that she talks about, and this is kind of like opening, it's like cracking open the door for you women, for me. What is pleasure, right? And that for me is like, it's not about being pleasure for somebody else, right? And I think the porn and the erotic have completely destroyed the word pleasure for women. Like, we're made for their pleasure. We're here for their, like, whatever. And the thing is we don't even know what our pleasure is because we're taught to be shamed and blamed around that. Don't experience that, don't feel that. But, one of the things around pleasure is like, what is the sensation you get when you do something you enjoy, right? Like, that's the pleasure. Some of us women, like that first sip of coffee, like I look in the morning now, I'm like, man, that is so much pleasure for me. Like, that first sip that I have, like, it hits the taste buds and everything else. And I let myself experience the pleasure of having that first sip of coffee, right? So I've had to, like, really look at what gives me pleasure. Does cooking give me pleasure? Does dancing give me pleasure? Does business give me pleasure? And I sit in that conversation of, how does it feel in my body? Where does it show up? And I think that was the big piece for me around how much we've been trained and conditioned that pussy, pleasure, desires as a woman all have to be for somebody else and not a self indulgence, because that's wrong. That's like, we hear that all the time. Oh, this is such a guilty pleasure of mine. And women really do say that a lot.
Oh yeah.
This is a guilty pleasure.
Stop
Being guilty
stop
about
being
your
guilty.
pleasure.
Stop being guilty. But I think it's like being in the business world. It's like when you're so indwelled in, like, in business, and you've been in it for so long, whether it's been corporate America, whether it's been entrepreneurship and all stuff, it is such a masculine world. And it's like we've been taught so often, it's like, don't use your feelings, use your brains. And it's like the feelings don't matter. The feelings are deceptive, especially when you're making, I know it's like, especially when I was doing real estate. And they're like, don't ever buy a house because of a feeling. And it was like, you're gonna lose money every time you base a decision on a feeling. But I look back and I'm just like, there were so many times that, yeah, the numbers made sense, but in my gut, I knew this was like, it didn't feel right. And looking back, and it's like, I should have gone with my gut. And I was like, yeah, the numbers were great, but other things happened that were not so great. And it's like, and so it's like, I think it's like, for me, I know it's like being so, I mean, I've been in, like, the business world, I think, since I was 10 years old. It feels like, because of different things that my family was involved in, different things that I did. I mean, I went to college for accounting, and then it was constant business after that. But it was always, your feelings don't matter. And so we're coming here in Truth Bomb, and your feelings do matter. How you feel about something does matter. So I have a question. How does this, like, so if we're saying, if we've been told for many, many, many years that your feelings don't matter in business, how is this adding back our feelings actually creating a successful business?
So there's a few ways that I would answer that. So, but I'm going to go with the first way that I thought of. So I've said this before, and I've said this on this podcast before. Your thoughts are the signal sending out what you want to manifest. Your heart is the magnet. Your heart, in essence, is actually more powerful in pulling things towards you than your brain is. And so your feelings is your heart. Like that's the piece of the puzzle that's like really, really important. Now, one thing I do want to say, this is the second thing that I wanted to add to this. Your feelings are a beautiful thing. They're wonderful. They can create anything and everything. But here's the thing with your feelings. A lot of times, a lot of us, a lot of people I'm sure have heard this word chakras before. It's probably going to put some thought of what it might be in your head, but let me just explain what a chakra or an energy center is. It's actually a bundle of nerves in your body. These nerves will crisscross in certain parts of your body, and there's a lot of energy when nerves crisscross in certain parts of your body. So your first three energy centers, your first three chakras can have a tendency of holding on to stuck emotions, stuck energies. So what can happen is this is how come people will say, in my opinion, this is how come people will say, don't trust your feelings. It's because they probably have a lot of stuck, negative, decreased level vibration emotions in those first three centers. And as a result, they can think, I want this amazing thing all day long, but what they're actually attracting is those negative level vibrational things into their life. So this is the reason, like, you'll listen to me talk about this kind of thing all the time, because this is just so important to focus on. What are the thoughts that you're thinking that you actually believe, that your subconscious mind can actually go, yes, I'm with you. I agree with you. That is so important. And the more that you do that, and the more that you notice, like Katrina is saying, notice what's going on in your body below your neck, you can actually start to feel if there's energy blocked in those centers. You can actually start to experience life in a way where you're like, ooh, no wonder I don't feel good, because I can actually tell there's something stuck in my gut or in my diaphragm or in my first center, like in my pussy. Like there literally you can actually look and see like where is the stuck energy, depending on like maybe there's diseases that you've created in your life. That's stuck energy. That is stuck. So yes, paying attention to your feelings. And first of all, noticing, does this feeling serve me? Or is this feeling actually playing more into this lower level vibration that's not serving me and is actually going to attract things to me that I don't actually want? This takes a lot of mindfulness. Like for me, it's all about mindfulness. It's all about being more and more present. And for me, that's the most important piece of the puzzle when we talk about femininity, when we talk about feminine energy is just being. You're just being present. You're just noticing. You don't have to do a thing, nor should you do a thing, because then you're stepping into that masculine energy. And both of those are incredibly important. You need that presence of mind to know how you're going to act next time. You need both. You can't say, I just am going to do, and that's going to get me exactly what I want, because that actually creates a lot of burnout. And this is where, in my opinion, a lot of female entrepreneurs have been playing for a really long time, because this is what we've been told.
And we push through the burnout too, which I'm not okay with, by the way. Keep going.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, like, notice your feelings, and then also notice, do those feelings actually serve me? Is that actually how I want to continue to feel? Because you can choose to change. And nobody's saying that if you have a lower level vibration, oh my God, you're such a terrible person. This is not toxic positivity. I don't want you to go through life thinking, oh my God, I'm thinking a negative thought. I must be a terrible person. No, I want you to notice those thoughts. And then I want you to just go, does this serve me or not? And then ask yourself, how long do I want to stay like this? How long do I want to feel this lower level vibrational thought? Because that thought, that thing that you're sending out from your brain and the stuff that you're attracting with your heart, that is what's going to affect what you create in your reality. And so for me, when we talk about like, for me, I don't even, I feel like it's not even, it's really not like, this is my hard thing when people like just talk about pussy. Like my hard thing about that is it's not just that part of your body.
Correct.
It's your entire fucking body. Like it's the whole goddamn thing. So for me, I'm like, and this goes for men or women. Like I don't even care who you are, because if you're a man or a woman, you have this energy, you have this possibility. And let's be honest, your first energy center, your first chakra has a lot of energy down there. And one of the things that you can harness is you can take that energy and you can actually start to heal and clear out all of the stuck places that you've been holding on to things in your body by pulling that energy up. Now, this is more of a advanced kind of thought skill set, but it's called a Kundalini rising, and it's literally taking all of that stored energy that's down there and pulling it up to your brain, releasing all the energy that's stuck in your body that you just don't need anymore. So
to tie into that scientifically, I know that we've been kind of, and I'm sure you can confirm or adjust whatever I'm about to say, but like women have 8,000 nerve endings at the clitoris, right? Like that's literally that bundle is 8,000 nerve endings. So you want to talk about energy? Yes. A guy has 5,000. So there is a lot of nerve energy that's coming like that. When you talk about that, Karen, it's like, yeah, these are where intersections of nerves and electrons and everything else meet. So it makes sense that there's a lot of energy down there to pull from and use and acknowledge. And it does go from foot to head. Like it's not just one piece. And I love that you say it, because it's just acknowledging that as women, is that we have it. I think so many times as women, we just like, we wear the pants. And I've even heard this too. The pants cut us off at the waist. And so when we put on pants, we put on the guy kind of energy, right? Not necessarily that I always believe this, but like it's a symbolism kind of a thing, right? And so women are the flow, men are the logic, right? So there is the style of like, why do we wear the clothes that we wear? Why do we like, what is it that we like to feel against our skin as women? Like those are all the things that are a choice, and everything is good. Right. I'm not saying don't wear pants, by dear God. I'm not saying that at all. And I'm not saying only wear dresses. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I just think it's interesting if at a choice, what we can always wear. But the energy level is the big piece. And that's why I say, like, for me, does the feelings make a difference in business? Absolutely. Are women generally more intuitive than men? Absolutely. Because we are taught as women, not even taught, we kind of subliminally or just unconsciously have the ability to read human beings. The unconscious, the blink, the nerve twitch, there's something, the energy they're giving off. Like we feel that as women in a lot of different ways. And I think when you are such a receptacle for emotions, for that pleasure, for desire, for experience, and you have that for yourself, you're able to read that back in another human being, right? Just as like you have this undying, pleasure and desire around your children, because it is, you have this overwhelming sense of love, and you're able to pick up on nuances, things they do, things that trigger you to react a certain way, right? So it's so fascinating that we're told not to have emotions in business. Women don't cry in baseball. I know that's one of our favorite movie quotes. There's crying in baseball, right? There's no crying in business. And yet there are times when we find women that are in the bathroom crying. And we look down upon that as like, oh my God, like, I can't believe she's crying in the bathroom, or somebody said something to her. But I think that's for us as women to go through and show some compassion, right? Show that sense of support for our sister instead of trying to talk down or demoralize her. I think what the big thing that I'm discovering in this is that it is a sisterhood. It is the sisterhood of right? It is us coming together. And I'm always at, like, every time I'm out and about, my one thing that really I love doing is complimenting other women. I truly love going out. Like, I saw a lady yesterday, she was rocking the black polka dotted dress. I was like, damn, right? And she was walking past me, I'm like, you owned that dress. Like, I'm just saying, like, you own it. And she just she looked back, she's like, oh my God, thank you. She saw, like, the smile that shows up because she's not recognized just as, an object, but it's like, the idea is that I want to,
you saw
her, like,
she
and I saw
seen.
what she is. And women, we want to be seen. And a lot of times we say we're not seen, we're not heard. And part of that is us as women is seeing other women in their beauty, in their grace, in their goddessness, in their pleasure, in their element, right? And recognizing that and just, acknowledging that to another female. That for me is a huge piece. And one of the things, like we talk about instead of Unlocking My Millions, is just the mindfulness and coming back to that. And I love this because Karen does a really, really good job inside of Unlocking My Millions. This isn't a separate, like, learning mindfulness and bringing that into the world of entrepreneurship has been so much fun because it's like, how do you take, mindful coloring to your business? How do you take a mindful walk to your business? How do you take a mindful exploration of your senses into your life, into your business, right? And it's such a fascinating.
Well, not only that, like those don't even like, those are like part of it, but it's also like, how do you mindfully create this piece of content for your social media? How do you mindfully write this email? Like, it's all of it. Like, I mean, that's the blend between that masculine and feminine, because the masculine is like, I've got to write this email. And the feminine goes, oh, how do I do this in a mindful, creative way that I'm just not rushing through it? This was something that I still continue to learn on a daily basis because I notice sometimes I go, I just got to get this done. And instead of going, wait a minute, like I need to just calm down because I don't need to rush through this anymore. There is no fire. Nobody's dying. It will get done when it gets done. And that's how I feel about my business now. It used to be, though, that it was like, I have to get this done ASAP. And it's not to say that you're not doing something in your business. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you notice your energy. And when you're going, I need to take a break, or I need to step away from this because something about this doesn't feel right, and actually listening to that and stepping away and just kind of letting yourself be. Sometimes what I would do is I would step away and I would just continue to obsess over it, right? I would continue to think about it instead of just letting the thought go and go, it'll come to me when it comes to me. Now, this is where I like to hang out because I don't want to sit there and obsess over the thought over and over again because that just makes me sick. Instead, I would rather just let it go and see how come I felt that way. Let me just take a walk. Let me just do something. I don't know, but I don't need to be doing this right now. Let's see what comes up as I do something else and let myself let go. And the possibilities that come up when you do your business like that are exponential because you never know if maybe you just needed to go on a walk because you needed to meet your neighbor because they were going to tell you about something that you needed to know that was going to help you writing that email or doing whatever it is that you're doing in your business. Like, there's something to just pausing and letting go for a minute and seeing, okay, like I could rush and get this done. And I'm not saying that you can't build a business like that because I have built businesses like that. the thing is that it causes and it creates this cycle of I have to always be doing something.
Yeah.
And for me, I don't want to live like that anymore. I am not about the hustle mentality anymore. I would
Why?
so much rather, I would so much rather have the things that I need in my business to just be allowed to come in. Because think about this, if you're just rushing through your work in your business, you're not really allowing things to come to you.
Mhm.
You're just head down. I got to get this done. I got to go. Whereas if you're like, I need to pause for just a second.
Yeah.
You're more in a space where you can allow things to come your way. And it feels, in my opinion, more congruent. It may feel like at first that you're like, oh my God, I'm not
Wasting time.
anything. Oh my God, I'm wasting my time. Exactly. So, like, notice those thoughts when they come up too. And I talk about this all the time. Just notice the thoughts. And if that's not serving you, wait, am I thinking that I don't have enough time? Oh, I need to actually rewire that thought. I need to actually start thinking something that does serve me instead of focusing on, oh my God, I just don't have enough time. I need to just do this thing.
Yeah. Well, and I think for me, what was really the catalyst around just getting to myself to notice my thoughts more was the mindfulness activities. Because it was like for the first time being introduced to like getting back to noticing those things. And I think that's where, when we look at how many women are out there in the world of doing, when you stop, Karen, and you look at, what you teach inside those mindful activities, it's step one, right? It's just slowing down, because even when we do those activities, it's like, well, notice where you started, notice what you picked up, notice how it feels in your hand. It's like, it's a guided process that it just awakens that sense. I think for me, it was like awakening that first sense, even though logically I knew it up here. I knew the thinking, feeling, and everything else. But when you give creative outlets in which to apply that first notice, that's when you start creating that sense. Okay, where else can I notice this behavior? Where else can I notice this thought? But the mindfulness activities are, you're right, Karen, it's not the whole thing, but it's the introduction of creating that in a time and place where most women don't have a moment to sit and be with themselves. And it's so interesting because every time we do the mindful the activities and we put it in there, I swear it is like every woman becomes unlocked. There is a moment in learning about, what they're doing inside of that branding training that we do, that mindfulness activity, that coloring. And when we dive into like the feeling, the experience, the why you choose what you choose to even color in and all of that, it opens a whole new dimension for all these women, because it's the first time they've been mindful of actually doing the activity instead of just remotely doing it because that's what we've been told to do. They're actually taking a moment and going, okay, why am I choosing this? How does it feel in my hand? And that's the first step when you talk about how do you create awareness? How do you notice these things in your life, right? Because I get that from a lot of women. It's like, how do I notice my thoughts? How do I take that?
How do you notice what gives you pleasure?
And it comes back to what Karen has created are those mindful activities, because they're the first, they're like literally, it's like cracking open a door. It's like you just started to turn the key to unlock. And it creates this sudden paradigm shift for women, and every woman that's gone through that part. And then that moment forward has a totally different relationship with life, business, self, in a way I can't even, like, I'm trying to explain this, but it is such an experience these women have.
It is an experience because
And
it's
it's so
unique to
personal.
them.
It's
It's
so
personal.
personal.
And so everybody experiences it in their own way.
Yeah. And good luck trying to explain your experience and have other people understand what you actually mean. Because
No.
nobody's going to get it. You
Yeah.
get it, though. That's what really
You
matters.
don't have to explain it. You experience it, and it changes you. I mean, like you have your thoughts about it, you have your expressions about it, but it's like, how do you explain a feeling?
Yeah. Right. And for the first time, women, I think, I know, and I'm seeing this with them, they're experiencing themselves in a whole new place. Every single time, like every woman is like, oh my God, I just discovered my brand. I just discovered my authenticity. I just discovered who I am at my core. And it showed up not in the logical, what are your core values? Is it pushing you? Is it pulling you? It's literally done through the letting go.
Yep.
We use music, we use colors, we use, paper, we use all the senses, and they have an experience for themselves that's unlike anything else in the business world of education. But that's what makes this whole conversation around getting back to what is our energy, what is pussy, what is our pleasure, what is that? It all ties in together in some form and function that allows women to really flow through this conversation and get who they are in their life, in their business for the first time. It is truly, I mean, I'm like, I know without a doubt, every woman in the world needs to experience this. Like, I know that unlocking my millions truly will not just, it's unlocking my millions, it's unlocking a million women for me, right? Millions of women, millions.
Yeah, don't forget the Z.
Z, right? Yeah, because we don't want to fall asleep, but but that for me is like, what would society, what would the world look like if more women were unlocked in their full potential? Not just in sensuality, which I feel like is what everyone kind of points to when they say the word pussy, but really back to what Karen points to is like creating that creative mindfulness, creating the energy, creating the thoughts, but it's got to come from a woman because I don't think we hear it from men. But there is something about.
Well, here's the thing that I believe. I don't believe that men have been fully unlocked because there's a lot of friggin' toxic masculinity in this world.
Tons.
And so men don't think that they're allowed to tap into those feelings because that, like, to me, that's a whole other.
That's a whole other world of which what, like, I want to find the yin to the yang of what we're building over here.
Yeah.
Because that is so important too. I agree.
Yeah.
Like, it's both sides. It's all of humanity that's in this.
Yeah, because really, like, I see all the stuff that I know all the stuff that I talk about. This is for men and women. But when we started Truth Bomb, we were like, let's do the lowest hanging fruit because women already, this is allowed for women to talk about their feelings. Men, this is not really allowed. And the thing that's sad is that you as a man, if you're listening to this right now, you have a lot of energy also in your body. Your body is a tool. Like it literally, the more that I play with my body in all sorts of energetic.
She body.
Yeah.
She really said that.
So
I play with my body. The more I play with my body.
So let me explain what I mean. So there's energy, there's energy in your body. And so think about when you have a chill, right? That's energy. Okay. Like this is how I explained this to my husband because he was like, I don't understand. What does it mean by having energy in your body? And I'm like, think about when you have a chill when somebody says something that's like so spot on. That's energy. So what I like to do, and I may have said this on this podcast before, I like to play with that energy and I go, I'm feeling it right now in my right arm. I like to go, can I move this energy to different parts of my body? Can I pull it up to my brain? Can I send it to my heart? Can I do different things with it? The more that I play with it like that, the more I realize how much of a tool I have been given.
Yeah.
This is more than just a skin sack. Okay. Like we're more than just skin sacks, people. Like there is so much energy. I did. Yes. There's so much energy in your body that you don't even know that you have access to. I guarantee it because I'm still discovering, oh my God, that was there. I had no idea that was a possibility. And the more and more present, this is how you unlock it. The more present you become, the more you notice your thoughts and your feelings, the more you're connected with your body and feeling the sensations, whether they're negative or positive. This is how you unlock this. So negative feelings can be transmuted into holy crap, amazing. Wow, that was a lot of pleasure. Okay, there's a reason that people like to do, what is that, BDSM, where they like hurt themselves and then they transmute the energy into pleasure. That is real. Like you can do that. Like say you have like a cut on your body. If you like really feel into it, you can transmute that feeling, that pain into something else. It takes presence of mind though. It takes allowing. This is to me what taught me how to really allow things in my life that don't necessarily feel good right now. And but what could it turn into? Like I can't explain it better than that. So hopefully that makes sense, but it's literally just allowing, noticing and allowing all the things that are coming your way and just going, huh, that happened. Do I like that or not? What do I need to change about my thoughts and feelings in order to change that? This is a whole can of worms that you open up when you start going down this path. Trust me when I say that. So.
Oh man, I love it. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast today and this crazy and incredible and amazing conversation. So if you liked us, please give us 5 stars in the apps and wherever you are listening to this podcast. And also, if you haven't already, check out Unlocking My Millions, because it is unlocking so many different things for so many different women. The experience is unique to you. And you'll come in here and it's I don't, like I said, we can't explain it because it is an experience, but you will unlock different things that are unique to you. So check it out at truthbombmarketing.com. The link will be down below, and we will see you in the community.